It seems ages since I was last out and about checking out some new Yorkshire Photo Walk locations. But now, as the autumn starts to take hold and our schedule is booking up until the end of the year, I thought it was about time for me to go out and see if I could find some new locations for a new year. So all of the locations that you'll see in this Recce vlog will appear on our 2021 Yorkshire Photo Walk schedule. So if you're ready, let's venture out and see what wonders await us in West Yorkshire. The first location that I'm visiting on this particular Recce vlog may appear a bit macabre. You might be thinking, well, why have you come to a graveyard to Recce a photo walk? But this isn't any old graveyard. It's potentially one of the most impressive, not only in Yorkshire, but maybe also in the whole of the United Kingdom. This is Undercliff Cemetery on the outskirts of Bradford. And there's just a wealth of different styles of gravestone here, and many of them are humongous mausoleums dedicated to people of varying different cultures. When we visit this graveyard for our photo walk, it will be the height of winter, where I'm hoping that we'll be able to capture the true mood of this location, but also venture into the undergrowth to find some hidden gems. When you come to a location like this, observation really is key. It pays to keep your eyes open and look in every conceivable direction. If you were just to walk in a straight line and look straight ahead, you would miss so much. Not only are all the gravestones uniquely different, it's also really rich in terms of wildlife. With all this undergrowth, as I've been wandering around, I've seen birds darting here, there and everywhere. So in terms of photo walk subject matter, this place is as diverse as any. It might be a little bit macabre, but I'm really looking forward to coming back here in January 2021. I'm going to have to tear myself away though now, because it's time to head on to our next location. So follow me and we'll take you there now. As many of you watching this video will know, here at Yorkshire Photo Walks we like to keep coming up with new and very quirky locations. And the next one that we're going to visit on this Recce trip is no different. And it starts by the way that you get to it, which is a photographic feature in itself. It's actually through that gap in the wall behind me here. Intrigued? So am I. Let's go and have a look. These are the ruins of Quarry. just above the Shibden Valley, just outside Halifax. And it really is a quirky location, just like the entrance to it suggested. And as I've been wandering around, the history of this place just oozes from it. Although there's not a huge amount left behind, there are a few ruined buildings and piles of stone. There's even a few bits of old quarry machinery dotted around as well. So it's a brilliant place for trying out different angles and close-ups of interesting details. When you're in a location like this, my top tip is to try as many different angles as you possibly can. Photographs that people like are often taken from angles that they've not seen subjects taken from in the past, and a place like this really lends itself to that perfectly. So I'm going to continue to have a look around before I move on to our next location. So come along and we'll keep exploring this fantastic little hidden gem. Really is one of those locations that I could spend all day here and find lots of different new and quirky things to photograph, but don't let this sun deceive you. It is getting quite chilly, so I think it's about time we moved on to our next location. We are on quite a high promontory where we are at this spot, so it's not really conducive to a bleak winter's day. So you'll be pleased to know that this will be going on the Yorkshire Photo Walk schedule in spring 2021. So it's time to head on to our next photo walk location, which is another abandoned spot with plenty more to see. So without further ado, let's crack on. You may think that this track looks like any old track, but every time I walk up it I always get a sensation of butterflies in my tummy. Nervousness almost about what I'm about to find. Now that may seem ridiculous, but the place that we're visiting next, although it's on public land, there's a footpath that runs straight through it. I always feel like I'm going into the unknown, the prohibited almost. Let's go and explore Allen Brickworks. This site, just outside North Ourham, again on the outskirts of Halifax, was once a thriving brickworks, but as you can see it's been left derelict for many years now. It's since been dubbed Graffiti Village, and it's one of those places that every time I come back to I just can't help but just be amazed that this place actually exists and that you can simply just walk straight through it. It's one of those places for me that is perfect for photography because there's so many different things to find, so many different angles to choose from. And on a day like today, after it's been quite damp recently, we've got these wonderful puddles that provide really wonderfully colourful reflections. And on a dull winter's day, some of this graffiti, as gnarly and sometimes as wrong as it looks, can really lift a location like this and tell a story of what this place has now become after its once thriving industry that was once part and parcel of this area of the country. So let's continue to have a look around before we move on to our next location, and you can look forward to this one popping up on the schedule in the not too distant future. Being an ex-industrial site, it goes without saying that in places like this you do have to take care. It also attracts the sort of people that like to daub graffiti on walls, which often have the reputation of not being the most friendly of folk. So my top tip, if you are planning to do anything photography wise at a location like this, is to join an organised group or take somebody along with you when you go. So you're not only kept safe from the potential dangers of other people, but you're also kept safe from the dangers of the decaying buildings themselves. When we put this on the schedule in January 2021, you can guarantee that we will both keep you safe and help you to get amazing photographs of this incredible site. Now, from this decaying wonder to a building that is still very much in its prime, as we visit our next location on this photo walk, Recce. The bridge behind me is one of the most viewed bridges in West Yorkshire, because underneath it runs the M62, one of the busiest motorways in the country, linking one side of the Pennines to the other. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Tom, it isn't the Humber Bridge. It's not entirely photogenic. But when we come here, it's not the bridge that we'll be photographing. It's the vantage points that you get from it and around it. Quite impressive, I'm sure you'll agree. But what will make it even more impressive is that we won't be visiting this location during the daytime like I am today. We'll be coming just as the sun goes down. Not necessarily to capture the sunset, but to capture this landscape after dark with the stunning light trails from the cars on the motorway. The reason why this place is so perfect for a photo walk like this is it's where everything sort of comes together compositionally. You've got the little house on the prairie, the farmyard that splits the two carriageways. You've got the reservoir, and you've also got the telecommunications mast on Saddleworth Moor. All of those come together with the bleakness of the surroundings to make amazing nighttime and low light photographs. I'm aware that the locations that we've visited so far in this vlog have been mainly urban and quite industrial in their nature. So it's now time to hit the road for the last time and go to the final location on this vlog, which is going to be for you landscape photographers out there, as we go and find out what the best of the West Yorkshire landscape can offer us. location on this recce trip today is the wide expanse of Norland Moor. The towns of Halifax and Sowerby Bridge are over my shoulder, and this place just proves a fantastic vantage point over the valleys below. It's here where we'll be coming to capture quintessential winter landscapes. It's a perfect spot for doing something like that because there's little trees dotted here and there that give you fantastic focal points, and then you've got the wonderful backdrop of the valley below. So whether there's a smattering of snow on the ground or whether it's a crisp winter's day like today, you'll be sure to get fantastic photographs in this location. Let's face it, moorland can be bleak at the best of times, never mind at the height of winter. That's why I've come up with a plan B for this session, just in case it is a bit too dramatic for our winter landscape session. Just in the valley below is a lovely man-made waterfall which is equally as photogenic, so we'll decamp there if things get a bit too wild and windy or rainy or snowy up here on the day of the photo walk. In a moment I'm going to share some of the photographs that I've taken on today's recce trip, and I'll put some in of that waterfall as well, just to whet your appetite even further. But before I do, if you've been inspired by the locations that we've visited on this trip, then check out YorkshirePhotoWalks.com, where you'll see them appear on our schedule in the not too distant future. If you've missed them already, or that you'd like to find other inspirational Yorkshire locations, as well as using hints and tips, then check out our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be reminded every time we post a new video. You can also keep up to date with all of our latest news and photo walk photographs by following us on social media. I'd like to thank you for watching today. I'll leave you now with some of those photographs from today's trip, and I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully on a Yorkshire photo walk in the not too distant future.